Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you? So good to see you here. Hope you are doing well. Well, I'm doing okay. I have a special guest. Y'all, I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I have admired this amazing person for so long. Since I even started thinking about repadding, have admired her from afar and followed her amazing journey and her beautiful family. And so today I get to bring her on, and she's going to be my guest today. And so I'm so excited. Anyway, you already know who she is because I am sending out the email. So you guys, I know how you are. You guys usually wait until you're off work and then you watch, and I love that about you, and that's okay. I'm good with that. I know you, family, and I love you for showing up. Hello, Replay Nation. If you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you so much, and I am so grateful for you. Thank you. By the way, I'm Synolve. Hi, how are you? And welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Go ahead and share this video with a friend and let them know that we are live. I'm Synolve. By the way, I'm the author of Love the New Currency. Also, I am working on this amazing journey that we're all on, which I call the Black Exodus journey. You can follow me over on Instagram at Synolve or at Black Exodus. You can follow me on Facebook, and of course, we're here, Synolve, right here on YouTube. So welcome. I am so grateful for you, and so thankful that you are on this journey with me. As you guys are coming in, please go ahead and share. Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Please come. Be sure to share the broadcast. Be sure to tell everyone that we are live and that we are going to be sharing something amazing. One of the things that I really want us as a people, as family, to wrap our heads around is to go where you are valued. Okay, go where you are celebrated, not just where you're tolerated. That's kind of my new motto, or old motto. I've always kind of had lived by this principle, and it doesn't matter whether it's in dating or whether it's in friendships. But also, as we're choosing countries, a lot of us are so quick to kind of settle down. We like, oh, I want to go to this, and that's it. And so, I want you to think about in this new year to think about traveling the world. And so I'm bringing more and more people on to help you, and help me too open our minds to traveling around the world, open our minds to the possibility that we could have more than one country as our home. We could have live the life of our dreams anywhere around the world. We can visit, we can travel anywhere around the world that we want to. The world is ours, okay? Because a lot of times we settle down, right? We're, especially black expats, we kind of settle down in one place, we go to one place. But I want you to really start thinking about traveling around the world, about how you can expand your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experiences for yourself and for your family just by traveling, right? And being open to new experiences. So, again, I'm so excited to have Tosha on. Now let me go ahead and bring her in as you guys are coming in. So, let's welcome her. Welcome her. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Synolve?
I'm good, thank you. Please pronounce your name for me.
It's Tasha. You
It is.
pronounced it correct. Yeah, a lot of people they see the T-O and they think it's Tosha. Like my mom and dad were different. So it's Tasha.
Look, no, I completely understand. I completely understand.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Well, I want to tell you a little about this amazing, beautiful expat, amazing woman, world traveler that I have with me today, Tasha. She's a native of Pensacola, Florida. She's an Army veteran who has held several different positions while serving. Whereas her main career is topographical engineer. Isn't that interesting? I had a cousin that was an engineer. I love engineers. They're the most amazing people in the world. And when I was in school, I was working on my degree, my English degree, my bachelor's degree. I worked with engineers because
Ah,
my background is professional and technical writing. So I
right.
would do technical writing with engineers, software engineers, and just all kinds of engineers. So it's always fun. Um, but Tasha holds a master. She actually holds two masters, one in human services and one in early childhood education, and a bachelor's degree in business administration. She's currently in her last year working on her doctoral degree in grief counseling. Wow, kudos. Tasha has had several years of experience in social services, and where she's directed a program by the Veterans Administration, assisting battered homeless veterans and their families by helping them to get housing stability. And she is an advocate for the American federal government and the Department of Defense, where she assists sexually assaulted and harassed active duty military members and their families. Tasha is also a professional certified life coach and travel coach, which we need to know more about, where she assists clients from all walks of life with forward focus. Right? She's married. Okay, she's married, guys. So okay, did you hear me? She currently has two beautiful children. Thanks to her military career, this has provided Tasha with the opportunity to travel to several different countries, which we're excited to hear about today, which prompted her to start a group consisting of over 11,000 members, which I am one, on Facebook. It's called Black Expats from all over the world. Tasha currently also has a podcast. My husband is a podcast. He loves podcasting. Okay. And so I was telling him about her podcast. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. Because I get excited. Tasha currently has a podcast that was derived from the Black expats from all over the world. And it's called Black Expats from All the World. And she's also implemented two other groups. Okay. And so there's the Black expats from all over the world, Black owned businesses, and BEFAOTW, say that fast. Melanin Expat Love Connections for Professionals. Okay, so all y'all single people, okay, y'all know where to go. I got all the links below, all her links to the podcast, to all her groups, they're all linked below in the description. Tasha continues to travel extensively due to her career, whereas this has provided her with the opportunity to embrace several different cultures and learn to relate to individuals on a personal level. And I know that from being in her group. She's very personal, very kind, and very knowledgeable about travel. And so, not only that, she's just a sweet human being, and that is really what's most important. So, welcome, Tasha. Welcome, welcome, welcome again.
You.
Thank you so much for being here. Um, One of the things as I was reading about reading about your life, reading your bio, and I was watching, reading all of your posts. Have been in the group for quite, some time, a couple of years now. And I wondered, where did you get this love for travel? I mean, how did this even start?
Synolve, it's so funny. I'll tell you. It actually, like I say, it started with the military. I did a little traveling at the beginning. And then once I finished college and decided to go in the military, I went to Hawaii. That was my first duty station. And I just loved it. The island was beautiful. You can get island fever is what I tell everybody, because you can tour the island in 7 to 12 hours. So you got to get out. So I'm like, okay, I need to get off this island and start traveling a little, because I'm starting to get this island fever. So my first place was London. That's my love. I love London. I had a friend that was stationed there, and she's like, well, why don't you come up? So I went up and I stayed for 2 weeks, and it was from there. I just started traveling. It's just, I got the travel bug. That was back in 1999, I think.
My
Yeah.
God.
So I started.
Hawaii. For Hawaii. Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Hawaii. Yeah, that was my first duty station. And then, like I say, I was there and I got tired of just being on the island, and my girlfriend was in the UK. So I went to visit her, and then I enjoyed it. I just started traveling from there. And I had a love for Europe. Europe is my favorite country. So, yeah.
See, Now, so that brings me to my next question. So where is your favorite country? Which you answered that. So as a child, were you thinking, oh, I'm going to be in the military so that I can travel, or how did this come about? Was it in high school that you started being maybe an ROTC? What? How did this come about?
You know what, Synolve, to be honest with you, I never thought about the military. My dad, he was a veteran, a Navy veteran. Military was not even in my roar. I went to HBCU. And when I got ready to graduate, I'm saying, okay, wait a minute, what am I going to do? I don't want to go back. I love Pensacola. I love my home. It's a small community. You know, a lot of retirements are there. But I said, I don't want to go back there. So I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? I need to get away and start traveling and venture out a little. And I thought about the military. So I started reading up the different areas that I can go ahead and go into. And it's funny, I went to my mom and I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm going in the military. Just out the blue one day. She's like, what's wrong with you? I said, I think I want to go. I want to travel. And she was kind of held back from it a little bit, but she's like, you know what, if that's what you want to do, we're going to support you. And it was just out the blue, you know, and it was the best mistake. I'm not going to say mistake, the best thing I decided to do. You know, I did. It helped me a lot.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's just that way that but you had lived a military life, so you were accustomed to it with your dad being in the military. So that's interesting as well. My stepdad was in the military, and but I didn't get to go to overseas. They went to Germany. Maybe if I had gone overseas, I might have chosen that route.
Well,
Well,
that was my dad. He was out the military, but we didn't get to
ah,
travel. We didn't get to
oh
travel
no.
when he was active duty. Yeah. So that was new to me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me welcome everyone. Jocelyn, welcome. How are you doing? I am well, sweetie. Milton, how are you? This is hubby. Thank you for being here and supporting me as always. I'm okay, Jocelyn. I look, I got my hand, I got tissue on deck because I don't know what is going on with sniffling. I got orange juice, I got water,
We're
and I'm
prepared.
drinking. Right, I'm drinking some herbal tea. I look, whatever this is trying to come. We're gonna attack it head on now. And so Milton is saying hello, Tasha,
Hi,
hello.
Milton.
And then, of course, we have Global Green Book. Welcome. So glad to catch the live streaming while working. Well, thank you, sis. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And to all of you, because I know how you all are, that you all don't always come in the broadcast. A lot of you all just like to watch. You're a bit shy. You're a bit introvert. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Just as long as you're listening and you get the wisdom and you get the knowledge and you're taking good notes. Hey, that is all that matters. So welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Well, Tasha has traveled to some beautiful, amazing places. I was trying to go through it. I don't know that I have all her cities, but I was doing a bit of research. Y'all know how I am about research, so I was doing a bit of research. And what I found so far, she's traveled to Paris, France. She got married in the Dominican Republic. She has traveled to Germany, London, Morocco, and Italy. I don't know. Do I have all the countries or are there more?
Oh, yeah. There's more. Because what we would do, I'll be honest with you, Sanal, when we lived in Germany, it's centrally located near every country, basically. So we were able to just take a little, like my house basically was about, I'd say 30 minutes from it took us about 2 hours to get to Paris if I
Okay.
drove 2.5. Don't quote me on that. I drive too fast. My husband gets on me about that. But
Oh, we all.
yes, I do. He says,
I
please slow down. And I also with oh my goodness, where was it? I'm trying to think. Yes, Lisbon. We would always go there. That was just like about an hour flight, you know, because Ryanair, it's pretty a decent cheap flight airline there in Europe. And we were able to go anywhere. We'd get €9 and 99 cents just to go to London. And that's like a 45-minute hop, you know. So we did that. So it was several. We've done several. We've done Croatia was my favorite. And I think that was like a 2-hour flight. We've done numerous, I'll be honest. I think the kids know more than me because they take advantage and they vlog mostly than I do. I just take pictures. They're like, Mom, you're so old fashioned. I said, I just like to have memories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you all catch that? Ryanair. I hope you're writing that down. I'm writing this down. I hope you're writing this down in your notebook. So, and the borders are pretty close, so you're able to kind of country hop and go to different places.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Europe is one of your favorite, is your favorite place. One of your, and London is your favorite. What is it about London that you really love so much?
The culture, I'll be honest. No, yeah, I've been traveling, like I said, since 1999, back and forth from there. And it's a plethora of different ethnicities there. When I go there, I get a little of the United States, because even when you live abroad, you do kind of miss that little home. And when you go to London, it's just, it reminds me a little bit of the States, but not so much of the States. But you get individuals from multiple different countries there. And I mean, when I say the restaurants, different restaurants, because they bring their country to London, and you're able to go ahead and taste the different foods. I just love the vibe, and the kids love it as well. Yeah.
They do. Now, are
Mhm.
you in London now, or
No, right now I am on an assignment. I'm actually in Alaska. I just came from Germany 6 months ago, so I'm here for 2 years. Then I go back overseas next year. Yeah.
Alaska? And now, how was it adjusting to Alaska?
It's an adjustment because I'm in the mountains. Actually, I'm at a base in the mountains. So we just got snowed in, and actually right now, one of the only grocery stores we have here in the mountains, with the storm, it just corrupted the whole grocery store. But thank God, we had
Um,
another store to go ahead and start going shopping to. But it's pretty desolate area. But the kids are in school, so in college, so they come back and visit. We're the ones that have to stay here and deal with it. But I've met some
oh,
wonderful people here. I have, yeah. But am I
you
ready to
have.
go back? Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Now, so your 2 years have just begun. So you're just in the first year of your 2 years, the first couple months.
I leave next year. I've been here 7 months, going on 8 months actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
moved
now,
here last summer.
last summer. Now,
Yeah.
do you prep quite a bit? Did you prep and kind of store tons of? Did you buy 4 refrigerators? Because I've seen a lot of people in Alaska like they have 4 refrigerators, like they're
Yes.
prepping forever.
I'll tell you, especially with Europe, the houses are usually large. We had a 6 bedroom there, and a lot of our furniture here we've had to put in storage because there's no closets in Europe. You have to always have a wall unit. So my daughter and my son, they had a large wall unit that we've had to actually take apart and keep. So a lot of our stuff is in storage. It doesn't fit in the homes here because as you know over there, it's more historical. They don't tear down their homes. So they're large, beautiful homes. You can get a castle and go ahead and buy or rent a castle there, so we have a lot of room there. But coming back here to the States after 6 years, we're like, okay, it's totally different. We got too much furniture. What are we going to do with it? So we put it in storage.
Now I do understand that
Mhm.
because I had a huge storage. We downsized again, and I have a huge. I had two. We had two huge storages units that we downsized to three small ones. I did get rid of some people. I really did, but still,
That's true.
it's like oh my gosh, it's like never ending. So I feel for you. I mean, it's like man, it's like the more I throw away, the more I find. It's like well,
That's it. That's
how
me.
and then and I'm a pack rat. Are you? Do you? I like
Yes, I
that. I'm
am.
very
Yes, I
sentimental.
am.
You
My
hold
husband,
on to
you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
now. You met your husband, and is he also in the military? Did you all meet that way? The
He's
only reason I because I saw the wedding pictures, so
uh-huh. No, I'm going to be, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. Black expats from all over the world, Melanin Love, Back Connection.
yes.
I thought about that because when I met my husband, this is my second marriage. We met overseas, actually. We dated overseas. We met in the Dominican Republic. My husband's Haitian national and traveled a lot together. And I knew after being single overseas, the dating scene was kind of hard. It just depends. You got to be at the right place at the right time. And that's what prompted me to go ahead and come up with Melanin Loves Expat Connection, because I know when you're overseas, when you're, especially if you're single, of course you're going to want someone just to hang out with and travel with. It's kind of hard, especially with a new country. You're trying to get acclimated there. You really don't know anyone. So what I do on there a lot, especially with that side, is I just put up different excerpts about where you can go to meet individuals, how to meet crowds, where to go, what to do, not saying, what you're going there to find love, but if you are interested in just meeting someone while you travel, this is the best way to do it. So I put a lot of information in there for that. So it's basically a community. We come in there, special singles, they talk, introduce themselves, and we've even friendships, even if it's not a relationship, there's a lot of friendships that are born there. And that's why I went ahead and I implemented that because of that situation.
Now do you have meetups in different countries for you?
Actually, what we do, I'm sorry, what we've implemented is it's online speed dating, and we do that quarterly, where they're able to come on, they can do breakout groups and meet that way. And it's individuals from several different countries that meet and do that. So we started that, my husband and I, a couple years ago.
Awesome. Now you have another program, and it starts with a T. I meant to write it down, but it's in the Black expats around the world. You might search for it, but where you actually have people on the ground in different countries, and they can point you in the direction or help you kind of get settled because I noticed Misty Memphis is one of your people in Jamaica, and we actually interviewed her.
Yes, I love her. Yes.
And if you haven't,
Expat of the month for our group too. Yeah, one year.
Say that again. She's your
Expat of the month. We used to do Expat of the month. Now it's Expat of the quarter. Misty was one of them last year.
Awesome. And so if you haven't checked out that interview, check it out. But also go over to Tosha's groups. If you're looking for love and you're an expat, you definitely check out her group, which I've linked below, the Melanin group. I've linked it below. And then if you're an expat or you're thinking about expatting and you're Black, if you're not in a member of her group, I don't know what rock you're hiding under, but I'm just saying, go over, because there are a lot of expats from, when I say all over the world, I mean, she named this group so phenomenally. When I say all over, they are all over the world. And so you're going to find someone who's nice, who's kind, and who's open to sharing their story. And there are 11,000 members, y'all. 11,000 members. This is phenomenal. I just need to know, when you were thinking about marketing and you're thinking about starting these companies, I mean, starting your groups, how did you grow? I mean, I always wonder, how did you even grow this? This is success. You hear me? My master's is in communication, digital marketing.
Yes.
Look, do you hear me?
Yeah.
This is an expert.
So now, to be honest, and to go ahead and backtrack on what you asked about what we had in Black Expats. It's called Expat Point of Contact that we implemented. So
that's what it is.
Yes, we have expats who volunteered to say, hey, I'm in this country. If you're interested, I can give you a leeway, because we know moving out the country is kind of hard. But when you have that sense of people being there for you and helping you, it does help. So we went ahead and we've implemented that. We're getting ready to do a website. My son's working on that now. It's going to be Black Expats from all over the world website. So we will have that included in that as well. So what prompted me was the groups. I'm going to be honest with you, Synolve. When I started with Black Expats from all over the world a few years ago, it was just for my friends that travel a lot and family. We could just post our pictures on there and say, hey, we went here. This is what you can do here. I wasn't expecting it to grow like that. And then people just started wanting to come. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start accepting people, people that travel. But it was not intended to be just a worldwide thing like that. But after everyone just started coming and people were asking to join the group, I'm like, you know what? We are all here together. We're going to help. That's fine. So I just started accepting, and then we went ahead and we grew. But it's a wonderful group, and I like to keep it to where everybody is understanding of each other, respectful of one another, and we're here to help each other. I just didn't want it to get out of hand to where, you have the different things going on in groups. That's why I like to keep it the way it is.
Oh, because I have read some of your housekeeping rules.
Yeah. And they're out of love. They're out of love.
They are.
Everybody respect it.
They are, and they're so sweet. I'm like, Mama was fussing, but I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
that. She said,
I love them to death. I just want to keep it to where everybody's respected, and I want to keep the group the way it is, what I originated it for. Mhm.
well, and it's doing its exact purpose because people are meeting
Yeah.
and people are getting the information that they need and they're exploring. And as I've said, my hope for you, who you guys who are watching, is that you'll take a page from Tasha's book and not just think, oh, I need to go to one place only,
Mhm.
but explore the world. This is your opportunity like never before, even though all this stuff is going around, and you all know what I mean. Although we have all of the things that are going around in the air and that we must prepare for, still you can still travel and you can still prepare yourself however you need to keep yourself and your family safe by wearing your mask, doing all those other things. But you have this opportunity to explore the world. And I think a lot of times we as Black people don't explore. I know people where I live in Memphis don't even go to the suburb where my husband was born, which is about 30 minutes away. They've never even been to Carnival. I know people who live in our tri-state area, Arkansas, Mississippi, like they never go just across the bridge to Arkansas just to
Mhm.
shop or
Mhm.
to Mississippi. It's time for us to get out of this. This is just me now. Time for us to get out of this idea of only looking at our little square foot or where mama's house was, mama and them, to just go and explore the whole world and expand our experience. Tasha, if there's someone out there who's afraid to travel and has never really traveled before overseas, what one thing would you tell them? What one tip would you give them to kind of encourage them to kind of, instead of saving for a bunch of Christmas gifts where you're going to give grandpa socks, you're going to give uh, gloves for Christmas, you're saving all those things. You've already started. We're packing stuff away, hiding stuff for the kids for next year. To get even your kids, because Tasha has traveled with her children
Mhm.
together and to travel the world. What advice would you give them?
I'm glad you brought that up, Sanal. Just to go ahead and backtrack on with the kids, and I always say, and I stress that to a lot of the parents, because we get a lot of parents and Black expats that say, "Hey, I have kids. I don't know what's family friendly." What I always say is research, and that's what we always say in our podcast. You have to research, and when you do go to these countries to visit, go and stay in an Airbnb in the community, because the reason I say do that is because you're able to feel the thrive of what's going on in that country. When you stay at a hotel or you stay over there where all the tourists go, it's a vacation. You're going to see all the good things when you go there to vacation, of course, because you're having a good time, but you can still enjoy it. But if you stay in an Airbnb or there in the community and be able to embrace what the locals do, you're able to get a more insight of what goes on in that country. And what I say about traveling overseas, of course, you're going to be scared, especially if it's your first time. I was scared, and I did it on my own. But you have to sit up and say, you know what? Long as there's a plane and there's always home, I can always go back home if I need to. You have planes everywhere. Airlines everywhere. You can always go back home, but take that leap of faith. And I like what you said earlier, Synolve, about it's a big world. I stress that. I don't want you to sit up there and say woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's always been in my mind. As you get old, you're saying, okay, I could have did this. I could have did that, but I didn't. And we don't want to do that. Go out there and take itty bitty steps and just travel. And once you start traveling, you're going to see and you're going to get that bug and start traveling around, and you'll decide if you do want to go ahead and go to that country. But you got to get out and you got to take that leap of faith first.
The courage. I think I put you on full screen because I thought this is just a message that people need to hear, and I wanted them to focus on you because what you said about Dorothy, and I was thinking about Dorothy in those red shoes. She clicks
Yes.
those shoes and she can
Mhm.
always go home. I don't
That's right.
know
That's
uh, what we're thinking, but it's just a plane ride away from home, and so you can always, if you don't like it, even if it's like if you travel to another state within the United States, you can always come home. And
you
so
should.
I just love it. And then your advice to stay in an Airbnb,
Yes.
because Dad and I are old school, Milton and I are old school. So we're always looking for hotels, and my son is the king of Airbnb. My
Yes,
son is the king of Airbnb, and
that's
I'm like, my husband's like, Airbnb, you talking about room down? What is it? What what is the air in the B? I don't understand.
tell me, please.
Hey, it's like he's like, it's not a big deal, mom. And then and my daughter, she's like, she's like, mom, when you it's an Airbnb, mom. It is okay. You are worried because he likes to travel.
That's
He loves to travel, and she does too. She's been to Costa Rica, and she just got back from
awesome.
Guatemala, and so
Yes,
now
I love that.
you
I
love.
love that.
I
Yeah,
know it's like travel when you're young,
that's
and so
right.
yeah, now Dad and I are definitely trying. We're trying to catch up, but I love this, man. Take that leap of faith,
Yes.
and go because you want to go. And I say this all the
Mhm.
time, you want to go where you are celebrated, not where
Right.
you're just tolerated,
That's
right?
right.
You want
That's
to
right.
go, and the
That's right.
world is your oyster because we've settled for so much. I feel like in your spirit you want to talk about this. Go ahead,
Mhm.
because we've settled for so much.
We
Uh,
have. We
we have,
have. And I'll be honest with you. And speaking on the kids, when you said your kids travel, that's beautiful. I love that. That's one thing that I love about when my son went off to school. He's a sophomore in college now. He said, Mom, when I went to school and I would tell them the places I've been, they're like, oh my goodness, the kids' eyes got big. And just him saying, I just couldn't believe these children. I said, well, CJ, you got to understand, not everybody travels like that. And they were asking, he says, Mom, I didn't realize we've been to so many countries because they would ask me, especially as coach, because he plays football at the university. He says, Shartez, have you been to this country? He's like, Mom, I was saying yes to so many of them. And I didn't realize we visited all these countries. But he told his coach, he said, you know what? It's been educational for my sister and I. We've been able to learn and embrace different cultures and see the world. So their goal is my daughter, she wants to go to medical school after she finishes undergrad. They want to go back overseas to go to school. Well, we're moving back next year, but they want to continue living over there. After we came back, it was different. I'll be honest with you, but we want to get our kids out there to see the world. It's so much to see, so much to see. We don't want to have them just grounded in one area, and it's educational. They're able to talk to different individuals on different levels, when they're able to travel, they're able to be on their own because one day we got to let our kids go. We have to let them go. And when you know that they have that knowledge already, they're going to be able to take care of themselves and go on.
yeah, and
Hmm.
that's so important.
Hmm.
We limit. I think we limit the way that we feel like we can or should be preparing our children for the world
Right. Exactly.
because we limit this small world to being the U.S. only,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
there's so much beyond that we can
Exactly.
experience,
Exactly.
and that we have this opportunity to experience. And so Tasha has done this with her children. They've traveled, they've lived, and that within itself is an education
Hmm.
that of experience, a wealth of knowledge and experiences that being in a classroom cannot give you, right? It compounds, right, the experience and multiplies extensively the experiences that you have from school. Because I'm a go to school kind of person,
Yes.
but at the same time, travel is important, and whatever school looks like for you, and for your children, whether that is a 2 year, a 4 year master's, a PhD, whatever that looks like for you, you have to really choose something. We were watching last night. We were watching. Mel, will you please, if you know the name of the show, because I don't think it's Into the Night. Oh, I figured that. I don't know if you've seen Into the Night, but it is such a beautiful experience. But these travelers are going. I don't know. I think they're going to Portugal, but I could have it wrong. And something starts happening with the sun, and they can't land, and so they needed to know what direction they needed to travel in and what cities they could stop in because and so that they could stay night, so it could stay dark because the sun was like frying everything. The reason I thought about this is because we don't have a sense of world geography here in the
Hmm.
we know the state next to us.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
We
yeah.
we 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 may even know. we might even be able to name a couple of 50, some of the, 51, whatever, 50 in the islands. We may
Mhm.
be able to name all of those. But our, as Americans, our world geography and just the idea, as Tasha was saying earlier, that when she was in Europe, and I think this is going to hit you, DC, in your question. Hello, Synolve. Hello, blessings in your guest. I just joined the live. What country was she referring to? I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking when Tasha was referring to her, and you can tell me in the comments, but her being able to travel while she was in Europe to so many different countries because of how close they are. And so geography, so much geography came up in this movie, which is on Netflix if you guys want to watch it, Into the Night. And so you have this knowledge of knowing all, so many different countries. My mom traveled to Paris. She studied in France. That's where my name came from. And so one of the things is her, she talked about, before she passed away, but she talked about all the different places that she could travel because they were just so close. Tasha's given her children this beautiful experience of traveling, but this knowledge of world geography, of having to walk it, right, and catch a train or
Mhm.
catch a plane to be able to go to another country. That is so amazing. And many of us haven't even traveled even to Canada or to Mexico, and they're our border countries. This is what I mean. And then you experience so many different cultures and so much different food. Tasha, when you were traveling, because you talked a lot about your children, but when you were traveling, what were some of the things that you did to prepare them to get them ready for travel? Did you talk about geography or where you were going, or what? What are some of the things that you shared with them?
We did. That's what we always did, Snuff. What we would always do is we go, actually, that's what I love about YouTube and different channels we're able to go on. What we do is we always review the country we're getting ready to go to and all the hot spots and where to go and where not to go. So we would find about the geography. Our favorite was Rome. The kids took me to Rome for my last birthday. And that is just, oh, when I say it's full of so much history, education. I think we went online and we read about that for a week. And my husband's like, you guys are so excited about it. I'm like, yes, honey, look at all this information that we're going to get and entail. But that was one of our favorite visits when we went to Rome. And we're definitely going to have to go back. But we would always research before we went about the country, the history, everything about it. So when we get there, we were in tune and we understood why situations happened the way they did.
That
Mhm.
is amazing. Well, Milton asked, what are some of the unspoken challenges that you faced being a world traveler?
You know what? Traveling the world, what I had to go ahead and do, I'll be honest, I'm going to give you a little story when I had, and I'll say when we first got to Germany, we had went to London. My daughter was sick and we had just flew back in and it was pretty late at night. And this was like our first year there. I got pulled over by the police side. My husband wasn't in the car with me. It was me, myself, and my son and my daughter. And it was a police officer, and it was dark. We didn't have lights in that area. So I waited till we got to the service station. So I pulled over there and he came and he had like three other cars with him. And what it was, I had a temporary tag because we had just gotten there actually. So he's like, and I asked him, I was like, sir, why did you pull me over? Just as just an example. And he says, don't question me. You just get out the car. My daughter was in the back behind with the blanket. My son was over there. I told him, sit down. Don't say nothing. Cause I know he's very protective of his mother. So I got out and he was very, very, I'll say belligerent. He says, when a German tells you to get out, you get out. And I think that was one of the first times of me traveling since 99 where I faced some kind of turmoil. And the other police officers were in the back laughing. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I let him know I work for the government here. And I was like, you still haven't told me why I pulled over. And he's like, we don't have to tell you that here in Germany. He's like, what's in your trunk? I said, I just flew in. I have our suitcase back there. And he's like, open the trunk. I opened the trunk and he just snatched everything out. I picked it up. I told my son, stay in the car. Do not say nothing. Just stay there. I put it back in, but just to make a long story short, he was very nasty. And he says, I know your colonel there. I said, yes, I work for the colonel there on the base. So that's fine. You can go ahead and call him. And my son was videoing everything throughout the whole time. When I got in the car, my daughter was in the back crying. But I got back to the office the next day and I was speaking to my colonel and he says, Ms. Pierre, he says, don't worry about that. He says, what it was, you had a temporary tag. And he says, a lot of our young soldiers, that's what we give them. And he said, he thought you all were young soldiers so he could pull you over and go ahead and arrest you. And he says he noticed that it was a woman with 2 kids and he couldn't do nothing. So he started acting belligerent. But I learned from that. After that, I told my son, I said, you know what? We're going to start learning the law. We're going to learn the German law. So we set up and we started learning that law. So we know next time when they pulled us over, we knew what to say and what not to say. We were used to America where, you know what, you have to read me my rights. And in different countries, they have different rules and different laws. And that's what prompted us to start learning and start researching when we would visit the country about their laws. You know, even the fun part, we did, you know, research that as well, but we wanted to find out about the laws just in case we got in a situation like that. But I had the same situation in London happen to me. The guy actually came up to the car. And I want to speak on that. There's prejudice everywhere. A lot of individuals I know, especially in my group, they're like, we want to just blacks it and get out of here because, you know what, we're not treated right as, you know, people of color here. It's all over. It's just the way you handle it and the way you carry yourself. You got to be able to say, okay, I'm going to expect it there. You know, it's going to be all over. It may be a different level of what we have in the States, but you're going to expect it. But it's best to know the law, research, find out about the country where you're going to, because it'll help you in the long run.
This is such great advice, guys. I'm taking notes because I wrote this down, learn the laws. I've interviewed a lot of people from Africa to Mexico, um, Jamaica. I've interviewed a lot of people, and not once have I ever heard anyone say learn the laws. And that is so important because you have to know culturally what you're stepping into and not just expect that as an American that everybody is going to be the same wherever you go and that you have to they would have to read you your rights in America. But they don't have to necessarily do that or explain to you. So learning and knowing is important. And I love what you said. Oh my gosh, I so loved what you said. And about um, knowing where you are and knowing that there is racism that exists everywhere. That was a note I didn't write because you could be treated right, even just because of skin color, right? You could be treated a different way in a different country that's predominantly black because you don't speak the language and they know you're a foreigner. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. Sometimes we want to, we want to blacks it. We want to lead, but you really need to know where you're going and research is key. Oh my gosh, because I've done videos on research and writing that down again. But the level of research that you guys did is just phenomenal because you need to know. Milton says there's no justification for the way that some police act, and I agree. It
It's
makes
not.
it,
It is. It's all over. It seems like. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, because we
yeah,
did, especially during last year when they had the situation here in the States with the police, all the different things going on. We were watching it from over there. We still had riots over there, and they had some over in Paris too. So it was going on over there. You know, it was all over.
as well.
Yes.
Um, Milton says it makes it hard for everyone to trust them. Sorry you had that
Yeah. Thank you. We learned from that, but you know what? We were ready for them the next time after we got those laws together.
experience. I'm ready now. I'm ready now. Now
Yeah.
you went to Paris and you were in Paris while they were having the riots.
Mhm.
And so there are riots now going on or have been going on throughout the UK concerning the man.
Mhm.
Were you there during that as well, or were you on your way leaving?
I was. I was there. Yeah. We actually they kept, especially with me working with the government, they let us know. We always get the alerts of different areas where they're having the riots. So we weren't able to actually go visit during that time. But yeah, we were there. We did get caught back in last year because we went for my son's birthday. He's a New Year's baby, and they were having one during then. And we actually got caught. So we were stuck there for about a week that week. But yeah, they're pretty calm there with the riots. They're not as bad, it's just mostly protesting, and they have the police side there, to go ahead and keep the situation alleviated. But they're able to go ahead and speak what they feel, and they keep it kind of calm. It's no kind of belligerents acting, they're throwing stuff or anything like that. It's just, they're just trying to speak up of what they feel is right, and I kind of agreed with that. I'm like, you can't complain if they're just sitting up there fighting for their rights and they're not being, hostile with anyone. So yeah.
Yeah, and that is definitely important.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very important that people are able to speak their rights and be able to disagree if you
Right.
don't,
Mm-hmm.
be able to disagree if you don't agree with something. That's definitely important. Talk
Exactly.
about Milton asked the question. I was trying to make sure I went back. Can you how have you adjusted to Alaska? What have you done any ice fishing yet? That's the important question.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to speak on that, and I just thought about it a few minutes ago. With me being here I got just a year and a half. As soon as I got here, Milton, everyone here, and it's crazy because a lot of my colleagues, they're here. They don't realize Canada's right. The Canada state line is like right up the road. Russia is right over the mountain from where we're at. So I was telling a lot of them, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're visiting Russia this summer, the kids and I, and then we're going to also go to Canada because my husband has friends there. They're like, oh my goodness, we've been here all these years and we've never visited Russia or Canada. I'm
My
like, you
point.
guys are so close. Go visit. And my girlfriend says, can I come with you and your family? I'm like, I don't understand why you guys don't take advantage. Look at the different countries you're located near, So Russia, it's just a couple hour flight. In Canada, like I say, the state line, we can drive from Russia. So we plan on getting those done before we leave here and go back overseas. So yeah, Alaska, it's okay. I can say I've been here. Would I want to come back? Probably not, but it's been an experience. It's just the
Yeah,
winter's brutal.
the winter.
Yes, they are brutal.
Geography is such an important lesson. I mean, it is so important to know where you are. I mean, here you are investigating. Where can I go and how close is it?
Right.
What can I do?
You're already looking at travel. I'm like, that's what we came. We're trying to figure out where we can go next. We're here for 2 years. So
That is
yes,
beautiful, and it's cheaper, right? Because if
yes,
you're already in a location, then
yes.
you coming from the U.S. to go to Russia, you're already in Alaska, so you might as well go to Russia and take advantage of that.
Take advantage. Exactly. And we don't think about stuff like that, Synolve. Look at your location. Like I say, take little bitty steps. Like I told you, a lot of the colleagues here in the locals, they've been here all these years and they've never even visited Russia. They never went to Canada. I'm like, you guys are so close. It's ways for you to go ahead and explore and adventure. When you're close to a country like that, just take a leap. Go do it.
I'm writing that down. Take a
Hmm.
leap. I'm writing that down. This is y'all. This is good advice. This is such good advice. Well, because in talking about expenses, Milton asks, which countries have been the most expensive?
Oh, goodness. You know what? Switzerland.
Really?
Yes, we went there. We went to McDonald's the first day for a family of four. I think we paid, what was it, close to 80 euros.
Wow.
And yeah, we went to, because we love sushi. We went out that night, almost 200 euros just for all of us, just to have one plate of sushi. But it's pretty expensive, but it's beautiful. I love it. I do, especially during the winter time. If you love to ski, but it's very expensive, very costly. And
Very.
London is too, especially with the pounds. But they have the small, cheap restaurants there, where you could go and just whatever you just like to eat. That's why I say you want to go ahead and stay where the locals stay. Because when you stay over there in central London, you're going to be paying a lot of money. You want to go ahead and stay there right there in different areas. And there's different areas in London you can stay in. The Airbnbs are really nice, really nice. And you're able to get the local food there. So you're able to still budget with a family.
Budgeting with the family. Now, do
Mhm.
you make a budget before you go?
You know what I do? I'll be honest with you, Synolve. That's what all my friends there in Germany always call me. They call me budget queen because they always say, Tasha, how do you get these places with your family of four and traveling so much like this? Like I said about Ryanair, you want to find a cost efficient airline. Ryanair, and then there's another one. I'll have to send it to you where you can get, like I said, one way trip to London for 9 euros. So you're basically paying what, 20 euros round trip for your family. You're going to be about what, 40 minutes out of London, and you're going to fly into Stansted, but you can just catch an Uber. They always have Ubers, or catch the train. You're able to see the countryside there, and it'll take you. And they have Ubers there in central London. But I usually go ahead and try to find the cheap airlines. And then, like I say, I stay in the Airbnbs because you're able to, go shop at the local shop markets around for your family. And then you're still able to go out and venture and take tours and everything. Even when we went to Greece, we stayed in actually an Airbnb. And I was glad we did, because we did a lot of touring in Greece and spent some money, but not as much. But we were able to be cost efficient because we were able to have the Airbnb and shop and still have, breakfast and lunch in the house, or probably dinner, whatever time we came back to the flat.
Wow. Now, will you, when you make your budget, are you sitting down with paper and you got your spreadsheet? Milton, are you listening? Because he's a spreadsheet person.
Yes, I am.
Are you? Is that you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay. Now, do you have spreadsheets that you've shared in the group, or do you how tell us about budgeting? What do we need in the budget? How do we need to prepare for a budget? Because some of us, this is all new. So
Yes.
share.
Definitely what I say, especially with a family. I'll start with a family. If you have a family, you want to go ahead, like I say, research the country you're going to. Find out about the cost to live in there, because if you're going to stay in an Airbnb, you'll find out, okay, this is what it costs to do here. You're going to want to go to the country and travel with your family. That's the purpose of going there, to go see the sightseeing. So you want to go ahead and find out where the best Airbnb is. Make sure it's in a pretty good neighborhood, because sometimes they can be, deceiving when you look on there in Airbnb and then you get there. My girlfriend, she had that happen in Egypt with her daughter, and she's a single mom. She had to go ahead in the last minute and go get another Airbnb. But you want to go ahead and start researching at least a couple months, 3 to 4 months before you go. And you can find out that way. Check the area. Then you want to go ahead and find out, okay, is it located in a central area, or is it kind of in the countryside? Because if it's in the countryside, if you're not going to have a rent a car, you got to think about transportation, because a lot of the buses don't come out there in the country. Our house in Germany is in the countryside. We probably have a bus once every 3 to 4 hours. So you have to have a car out there. So you want to find out if it's pretty close to the central area where all the tourist attractions are, but not right there in the tourist attraction area. So you can go ahead and call a Uber. We do have Ubers over there. London has them. Germany does not have them. I know Spain has them, and Greece has them as well. And a lot of areas there, Paris, they have them as well. France, they have them, depending on where you're going, if not in the countryside. You want to make sure, because if you're going to go ahead, depending on when you're going to travel, you want to go ahead and find a place where there's shops so you can get breakfast for the family. You guys can have breakfast there, and then you're going to be out for the whole day touring. So you want to find out where the local restaurants are cost efficient. That's what I do. I go in there and research and find out what area we're going to go to that day. I have a list on my spreadsheet. Monday, we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and probably go in central London. So I know central London is pretty expensive. So I'm going to go shop and make sure we have breakfast that morning, because I know we're going to probably go like the McDonald's. But like I said, in London, they have I love chicken. So they have the little chicken shacks around there. So I know we can afford to go ahead and get that and still go out and get souvenirs and shop. And we'll be home by the evening time. I don't know if we're going to eat that night. Probably not at home, because it's our first night. So I'll go ahead and budget and say, okay, how much are we going to spend for dinner this night? The next day, usually the second day, you're going to do a hidden tour. It usually takes us like 3 days, and we've probably mostly done everything, because my kids, they get really bored sometimes. They want to stay in the flat. So we'll probably go out to dinner the first night, probably the second night, and the third night we'll probably come in earlier so we can go ahead and eat. But you want to go ahead and start planning before you go. Make a budget of how much you're going to pay. If you're a single person that's just traveling with your friends, you know exactly what you're going to be able to spend, because you can get there. You got to remember the dollar plus the euro, the dollar plus the pound. You always want to go. One thing about that too, I want to go ahead and specify, it changes. Sometimes the exchange rate goes up and goes down. We would have it going crazy all the time. So you want to keep an eye on the exchange rate of what country you're going to, because, you may think, okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring 4,000, 3,000 with me. You can blow that in like 2.5 seconds when you're in London, depending on the exchange rate, as far as Europe, period, completely. So you want to go ahead and be prepared for that. And also, like I say too, I would also want to go ahead and make a list of, okay, what if something does happen? It's best to find about an expat insurance, and that's one thing we do. We have the government insurance too, but I also have expat insurance too. You may be able to get that just temporarily while you're there, because God forbid, if something does happen, you want to be able to go to the hospital there and have that insurance to cover, because you don't want to get a big filthy bill.
Wow. Okay, like you caught me right now. Okay, so let me just kind of recap. One is Airbnb and housing. You want to find the cheapest way for housing. And so for you were saying, especially with children, Airbnb is the way to go. Transportation. If you're going to be close I'm just recapping for me. I'm making sure I got my notes, y'all. I'm
Yes.
this is for you too, though. Welcome. But transportation, if you're out close, if you're close to tourist areas where you may not necessarily want to be, but you may be out in the country, you want to make sure that you got your transportation now, because you might have to get an Uber, and you need to know if you even can get an Uber, because in France they don't always have Ubers, right? Depending on where you are. Shops and restaurants, food is important. You want to be close. You want to know where they are. You want to. This is all the stuff you're researching before you go, and then the areas, plan the areas you want to visit. Are you guys taking your notes? I'm just saying. Are you guys writing this down? Know the money exchange rate to where you're going, and then expat insurance. I've heard a lot about expat insurance. Are there expat insurance companies that you could recommend? Or
You
does
know,
it matter where
off
you
the
go?
top of my head, I'll send those to you. I promise to. But I do. I have a list of them put away. There's a couple where like I say, you can just have them while you're touring for a week, 2 weeks, depending on how long. Even if you're going to be there for a month or two, they have expat insurance in regards to that. But Synolve, I wanted to backtrack on that too. We did stay in all inclusive sometimes too, depending on where you go. We were in Morocco, and we did it all inclusive there, and I think we did in Greece as well. Because if you think about it, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is included as well. Then they have some of the amenities there at the all-inclusive, and we really enjoyed those. So we have stayed in those as well. So the all-inclusive, it does include all the meals, all the drinks, and entertainment right there. So when you're going out touring, you can come back and you have all that information there, right there in the all-inclusive as well. So your family's able to vacation there.
Now, y'all know I'm paying attention. So if you see me look away, it's only because I'm writing notes. so that's the only reason, because this to me, I have, and I said this at the beginning, I have admired Tosha for so long. And you just never know who really admires you, because they may not be the most vocal. They may not be always, always saying anything. They may not always be there. They may just be watching. And watching what you're doing, loving what you're doing, and just inspired. And that's me. I'm one of those silent, inspired people. Yeah, I'm supporting you. I'm here. I always tell people, come, you got to join this group. And I'm always sharing to my friends, because this group is Black expats from around the world, is phenomenal. And I've linked this below, all of her groups below, because it's so important. Milton says, he wanted to know, will they let you cook? Will they let you cook? I guess in the Airbnb, I'm thinking you said Switzerland, so you can pay for the. Oh, cook in the. Can you cook in the restaurant? So you pay for the meal?
I wish that would help.
You're a joke. Okay, I'm sitting there. Shade says, be careful in Russia. It can be dangerous for Black people. Okay.
I've heard. Yes, I have. We've been doing our research. We have. We'll probably go in the summertime, but it's going to be a group of us. But yeah.
Thank you for that, Shade. And
yes.
Shade, thank you, because this is how we look out for each other.
That's right.
This is what we do. And if you join Black expats from around the world, you'll find that people in Tosha's group, along with Tosha, will be looking out for you and sharing information, a wealth of information about wherever it is that you want to go. But this is how we join together and really have family and protect each other and keep each other safe. Because at the end of the day, my daughter says this all the time, we are a tribe. As African Americans, I don't care. We are a tribe. We have a lot of the shared experiences. We have a lot of the shared loves. And we are family. At the end of the day, we are family. We have to take care of each other. So, Shade, thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And Milton says, thank you for sharing about the exchange rates. Oh, the exchange rates. That's important no matter where you go.
Very
right?
much so. Very much so. Yes, it is. It's your money. It's your money,
It's your money. And
that's
so
right.
that's important. Now, you have a house in Germany still, or do you still have a house in other countries still?
We do. We have a house. My husband, he's Haitian. We have a house in Haiti because we
Oh,
do have, yes, Bethesda Kingdom Kids Academy. We help the children there in Haiti where they teach English classes, and then also they have summer programs, food program we have there. So we have a home there in Haiti. But yeah, we plan on purchasing there in Europe. But yeah, our home is basically there in Haiti.
so you have a home in Haiti,
Mhm.
and you plan on purchasing a home in Europe
Yes, yes, we do. Yeah, next year, hopefully.
next year. The reason I'm asking, and Sade, I hope you saw my message to you because, Tasha, and I'm drilling this in because Milton and I have been looking at real estate investment.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm like writing it, writing this down. Now, do your home that you have in Haiti, or maybe perhaps your home that you'll have in Europe, are you planning to do some real estate investments, or where you'll do Airbnbs, or you'll do other things? Are
A
those some
hun-
of your plans?
Yes, 100%. I have friends there in Europe. He's actually doing that right now. And believe it or not, a lot of us, we are coming to Europe like flies, and the homes are selling like crazy. And even though, like I say, they do have a lot of homes there, but they have new developments. And that's a friend of mine. Him and his wife just went ahead and purchased a whole development that they're rebuilding right now over there. And because he's got one there, and he has one also in Africa that they went ahead and started development there. But in Europe, it's booming there. Especially because we're not too far where our home was, is Luxembourg. Luxembourg is pretty expensive, but if you can purchase a home there, especially Airbnb, you could still go ahead and invest there. It's a great place to invest, actually, in that little area around there.
Around Luxembourg.
Yes, because we were like 45 minutes, my home was from Luxembourg.
Okay, y'all. I hope y'all are taking notes. If this is yes, because all of the things. Let's see. Milton asks, "What's the best thing that you have enjoyed about traveling around the world?"
Milton, meeting new people. I've met a plethora of individuals. I'm just a personable person. So every time, even in the airport, my husband's like, you're always talking to somebody. My son says it, but I'm just meeting people from different cultures, because we were talking the other day, my son and I, he's like, Mom, we have friends all over in every country. So when we go visit, we always know someone in that country. So I've been able to meet people from all over the world. So when I do go visit the country, I always know someone there. That's the good thing. And that's a good thing about these different sites, not only Black expats, but we have a lot of them on Facebook where people are all over the world, and you're able to communicate and connect with these people. So when you go there, you know what, you have someone there, not saying you're going there for them, but at least you know someone in that country and they can give you advice. So that's been the best thing, I think, meeting people from all over the world.
That's so important. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
have another question. What have been the worst things that you have to say about traveling, if any? What are some of the downsides of traveling? Since you're living out of a suitcase, how does that?
Yes. That's it every 2 to 3 years. But at first, you know what, it was hectic, and my son, I'll be honest, I'll go ahead and go on a story with that. This is when I think they were in middle school. We were sitting down at the table, and he's like, Mom, I can't do this. I want to go back to the States. I just can't do it. I can't adjust here. I'm tired of Europe. So we sat down and we had to come to Jesus moment, is what I say. And I told him, I said, listen, the Germans didn't ask us to come here. You were excited about coming here. We sat down at the table and we talked to you all about it. And you were excited about coming over abroad. And now you're here. You don't like it. Give it a year and start learning the culture. Embrace the culture, and then we'll come back to this conversation. Well, fast forward, my son, he played with the Germans. He got on the German football team there. And he was also playing with his high school there on base. But he learned the language. He's not fluent in it, but he met so many friends. And he's like, Mom, he told me right when he graduated, he said, thank you. He says, I thank you so much, for giving me this opportunity. He said, because I would have never even thought about it. And I thank you for telling me, you know what, give it a chance and learn to embrace the culture. And that right there has just been something for me for my whole life. My daughter, she adjusts really well because she's a social butterfly, but my son, he was kind of quiet a little, and it took him a little more time to adjust. But after that, I noticed, I said, you know what, this is why I travel. This is why I enjoy traveling. It's for not only for me, because if you're by yourself, okay, it's for you. It's something you're doing for you. But if you have a family, you got to take your whole family in consideration. And that's what I've always done, taking them in consideration. I didn't want to take them to a place that they weren't excited and happy about. We talked to them about it before moving abroad. But then also when we got there, I said, just learn it. And now, like I say, it's home to them. It's home. My son says, Mom, I'll be back and forth from here and there. But he's like, I'm going back over there because he's gotten connected with a lot of the football teams over there. So he wants to go over there and play professionally after college. So it's something that I've given them an opportunity that I didn't have as a kid, you know, and I'm grateful for that, you know, to let my family be able to travel and learn different cultures and embrace the world, you know. So like I always say, when I get old and have my grandkids, which is a long ways from now, but I'm able to
You
say,
want to be clear.
yes, they know better. But I thank God because I was able to embrace this beautiful world that we were blessed with. And I have no complaints. No complaints. I can rest now. So yeah.
Yeah, very good. I promise you, when that was the mama moment when she said that about her son. Like I was like, oh, I'm proud. I'm proud of this mommy. I am. Good job, mommy. I am so proud of you for all that you have done. And not only have you taught your children, you have impacted so many children just by having your children in other countries, because there are people in other countries who have never seen Black people. They've only seen them in the news, they've only seen them in a rap video, and now they have seen you, they have seen your beautiful children, and you have taught the world so much as the world gives to us. When we travel, we give so much to the world, but
Mhm.
also in your group and with your podcast, you are teaching us as Black women, as Black men, as travelers, as Black families, that we are world citizens. We are citizens of the world. Sometimes we only see ourselves as citizens of Tennessee or Florida or
Mhm.
whatever state that you're living in, but we are citizens of the world. And you have this opportunity to travel, and you owe it to yourself and to
Mhm.
your children to really travel
That's right.
and to live as a citizen of the world. I am just, I have so many notes. I was looking down and I have so many. Y'all, I'm serious. Y'all, I'm showing this book to y'all so I can pick it up. But look, I'm like seriously got all my notes. I
All
mean,
of
like,
them.
yeah, I mean, I got all my stuff. Okay, because I am it's important. This is an important conversation because we need to
It is.
go where we are celebrated. We need to go where we have the opportunity to live our dreams and to craft the life that we desire. And that means opening ourselves up to travel and not being stuck in any one place. There's opportunities. Sade and I were talking about this yesterday. Opportunity to invest in real estate, which Tasha
Mhm.
is doing and has done. There's this opportunity to give, right?
Right.
With Tasha is doing with her husband and with her family and giving to the kids at the Bethesda Kids Academy in Haiti. We sit back and we talk about all the problems of the world.
Mm.
But very few times are we doing what Tasha is doing. When you're talking about what's happening in Haiti, you're talking about our brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering or who are experiencing difficulty. My question is always to people, where are you? Well, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
And when you see this example of Tasha, who is doing something, who is putting her money and her time and her good wishes and her prayers and her energy into helping other people, these are the kinds of people that you really just can't help
Mhm.
but to fall in love with and fall in love with their passion and their energy and be inspired by their story. And so I'm so glad that we have had this opportunity. Mill's giving a thumbs up. I hope y'all gave the thumbs up on the broadcast too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's an awesome journey. Thanks for sharing so much with us. Also, um, when you visit Russia, tell Putin that you said holla. Okay, Mill.
Will
Deuces.
do. I
Tell
got a
her.
question. You had said something, I'm sorry, about I like what you said when you said about we talk about our youth, and I just wanted to go ahead and tap on that real quick. I was, since we've been back these last few months, my son and I was talking about it. We noticed on social media, a lot of these kids, I don't know if it's a big thing with them having guns around now, a lot of guns, because, guns aren't allowed over there where we came from, and they have them on social media. We've been seeing them with the money, hold it out. It's a thing that they do now. And we have a lot of these influencers, that are on YouTube. Why don't we start working with our youths, trying to show them different things of what they can do with their life instead of this? Those are kids who are reaching out for help. And I've been noticing that. And I'm like, we get up here and we say about this traveling and how we've done this thing. And I can say I've been all these places, but we got to start with these youth. We got to start helping them more, because they got to start seeing there's a bigger picture than having these weapons and holding these guns and flashing their money, because they're passing away like wildflies, and it's sad. It's sad. They don't realize what their potential is. There's so much out there for them to do at that age, so much. But we as influencers, we got to start doing a different direction of leading them in a more positive manner and showing them there is a big world. There's more to it than, like you said, that little small town you're in. You don't have to settle for this,
Oh no, I mean, you look, you are preaching to my choir. I mean, you are all up in my pulpit. Because I live, we live in Memphis, and I'm from the Mid South, so Memphis was just named the most violent city in America.
It was my town a few years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
our town. Yeah.
and we just had a young man, brilliant young man, who is a world international superstar from Memphis, Young Dolph, and he was gunned down while getting some cookies at a cookie store for his mom. He come back home. He normally comes back home around Thanksgiving, and he gives out turkeys to thousands of people in the Mid South. So that's why he was here.
Yeah.
And this happened. We concentrate on our hood, right? We concentrate on such a small area, and we concentrate on such few opportunities. Everybody wants to get in the NBA. Everybody wants to be in the NFL. But I thought about this years ago. I think Wendy Moulton went. She couldn't really have a. I think she's from Memphis or from the Mid South, but she couldn't really get her career off around the way that she wanted it to here in the States, and so she moved overseas. And so many so many people in the 20s and 30s, 40s, under
they're doing it. Yeah,
they would go to France or to other countries. So yeah, young Dolph Milton is saying absolutely. And so this young man was in the prime of his life and with so many things, but he was still concentrated on giving back. Here's the thing, right? And so in coming back to to the hood, it put him coming back to his hood. What I mean, it put him in a place of being a target, because people want this or they want what you got, and we're showing our jewelries. We're showing what y'all come to me. I know my jewelries look good, but y'all come to me.
It's beautiful.
You come for me. I mean, I'm just saying they probably 25 cents. I'm just, and then I hook things together and make all kinds of stuff. And so, you're not going to find it anywhere. It's a Synolve original. I'm just saying. And as beautiful as Tosha is, as beautiful as she is, the wealth that Tosha really has, as an influence, is here in her mind with her experiences and her knowledge that no one can ever take away. And not only does she have it, her husband has it. There's a wealth of knowledge and experiences, and she's passed that on to her children. This is what Tosha was saying. We have the opportunity to have a wealth that no one can take away. It is not in cars. It is not in diamonds. It is not in big chains. Right? You hear me? That's what you were saying. I mean, I felt you when you said it.
Yes.
Real, and we have to reframe what wealth is, because
that's right.
What people are doing as well. I was listening to the Nomad Capitalist, and I'm a huge fan of the Nomad Capitalist, because he's talking about, now I'm not all of the politics and all of that I don't do. Okay,
Mhm.
so don't come for me. You just know for sure I am black, and you understand. And
Yes.
that's not that is not gonna change. I'm so black that would never that is not gonna change. But I believe, we can get knowledge from other people who
Mhm.
are living this dream. They're doing exactly what Tasha is doing. They are investing in homes around the world. They are building wealth
Mhm.
places for their children to go and to travel. Here you have Tasha's son who's thinking about playing for teams overseas where he can have an amazing life, amazing experience, and travel and do amazing things. And here we're just talking about the Chicago Bulls playing the San Antonio. Y'all, Milton, they're filling a team because y'all know I don't know. So you know what? But we're just thinking
Yes.
about NFL and NBA, and unless you're competing in the Olympics or some other international
Right.
competition, you don't get to. But these teams that are playing overseas, they're competing in Germany and France. They're
Mhm.
doing all of these amazing things. If you want to give your children real wealth, you really want to invest in
That's right.
their, you know what I mean? And
That's
I
right.
think you really want to invest in their future, the gift that you give them is the gift of the world. You give them the
Mhm.
gift of
Yes.
travel. And Tasha has done this and continues to do this. And so I think we need to, exactly what Tasha said, you need to reframe your thought about around wealth and what it means
That's
to
right.
be wealthy. And the moment that we do that, we step into our power, we step into this infinite field of possibility for ourselves and for our
Mhm.
children. And that's how you change the world, by doing exactly what Tasha has done. Tasha, I mean, I, I don't want to let you go, but I mean,
I enjoyed it. Yes.
no, we should do this more often. Um, any last words, any last wrap up that you'd like to share? And please, when once you go, don't leave. I want to talk to you for
Yes.
just a moment privately, if you don't
Definitely.
mind. I
You're
didn't get a chance to do that
yes.
before. I was honestly, I was taking some Allegra. I was like, Lord, let me get my tea, fix this.
Oh, I know. I'm glad you're feeling better though.
Thank you. Tasha has been so sweet. We had to reschedule because me and Lord, my husband, we were joking this morning, and he was like, when I was walking in, he was putting like the knives away. He was like, putting,
Let me put them away. No more accidents.
he is, he is such a, oh gosh, he has really kept me laughing. But so please stick around. I have a few things I just want to say to you before you go. But please, Tasha, I'm going to give you the stage, but please share any last words or any last thoughts that you would give to someone who is afraid to travel, hasn't traveled, and is wondering if being a citizen of the world is right for them.
We're in this big world. And like I said, I've said it earlier on this broadcast, we've been blessed with this big world. Don't just be confining yourself to one little area. Get out there and explore and see. And like I said, if you don't like it, you always have a way back home because there's always a home, But I guarantee once you do start traveling, you're going to start seeing so many different things that you never thought of. And I'll be honest, things that I saw on TV when I was young, never thought I'd be able to see there. And I get there and I say to myself, oh my goodness, I'm really here. This is a blessing. This is a blessing. And able to give my family that opportunity. You want to be able to get out there and say, you know what? I've been there. I've done that. I've explored. I've enjoyed life. So when it's time for you to retire, you can sit back and retire and rest because you know why? You can say, I've done everything I needed to do. And us, and I'm going to speak in terms of the African American community, everybody wants to travel. And I'm not specifying, saying, excluding anyone out, but I'm just speaking in terms of us. We got to start getting out more people. We got to start letting our children see there's more to life than this little area right here. There's more to life than flashing out the money and sitting up here hanging with every individual. Be a leader. Show your kids how to be a leader. And that's the way for you to show them to be a leader. When they're able to go out there and they're able to adjust to different cultures, they're able to come back and they're able to share their experience. And then people gravitate to that and they're going to wonder why. Why are you, the kid, I'm speaking in terms of our youth, why are they so honored and able to stand up and hold their head up? Because that's a chance for you to be able to say, okay, this is why. I've been here, I've done that and went here. And they're able to start seeing, okay, well, there's a bigger life and a bigger world than this little area that I'm in. It starts with us as adults to make sure our youths are able to go ahead and adventure and explore the world, you know, because they are our future. They're our future. And we do not want our kids to sit up here and keep looking at the news and seeing them pass away. This is something I really want to focus on. We want to get them out more. We want to go ahead and explore that. And if you are an influencer, you want to make sure that you're out here targeting our youth, letting them know this is where I've been, not bragging about where you've been. We're happy where we've been, but we want to let them know when you're able to do this, you're able to get this. This is what you're able to see. So get out there and travel so you can share your experience and you can bring others with you. Because right now I'm happy to see most of our youth and also the Blacks and more of us African Americans are traveling and seeing the world. And I love to see that. We got to start helping each other out. We have to start helping each other out and pushing. And there are several groups out there, not only my group, but several on Facebook and other places like Instagram, where you have the Black community who have traveled and you're able to find someone and ask and get advice, you know, able to buddy up, may have a travel partner. It's a way to meet friends all over the world. Like I said, I know someone in each country, which is a blessing, but get out there and explore the world. It's too big of a world for you to stay in one spot.
Now that is good advice. Tasha, thank you so much. Natalie is over here saying yes while you were. She's like, yes, yes, yes. I know in my soul, I felt that. I mean, I was sitting there just had my eyes closed because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so
Thank you.
feeding my soul, feeding my spirit. I, as I said, I have admired Tasha for such a long time because one, she's a Black woman, she's a sister that is doing amazing things, bringing Black people together. We talk so much about divisiveness and strife and pulling people apart, and she is pulling us together, one person at a time. And not only that, helping us to live our dreams. You want to travel? I got you. You want to find love as an expat? I got you. You want to have a business as an expat? Look, I got you. And that's what she continually says to us with our lives. And if you want to help your children grow and expand, I don't know, do you have a black expat children of the world group? I mean, for families and moms, but I've got links to all of
Oh,
her.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, because
Yes.
this is phenomenal. I have links to all of her groups. And Tasha, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for having
for,
me.
for
Thank
being
you.
here. I appreciate you so much more. And you have filled my heart today. I am so full. It's
Yeah,
worth the wait. And so I'm so glad everything happens in divine timing.
it
And I'm
does.
so glad that you are here with me today because this has really been such a blessing for me. Now you're going to go backstage, but thank you. And hold on because I have a few things that
I'll
I
be
want to
there. Okay.
say. All right, so guys, there it is. Natalie is saying that is a great idea. It would be interesting to hear from a child's perspective and to see more families, black families. Oh gosh, y'all. I have done everything I could not to sneeze and to show you guys all of that. And here I go. I come right back on to sneeze. Oh my gosh. Milton says, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well,
Thank
haven't
you.
we not been blessed today? Haven't we not been blessed today? This has been, this has been Sunday service on a Monday. I am just so blessed and just so happy because it's good to see Black people, Black women traveling, Black expats, Black women living their dreams, Black families, Black men uh,
Mhm.
living their dreams, and to see children having different experience beyond our little square radius, our little block, our
Right.
little neighborhoods, and going out and exploring the world. If I could give you any piece of my heart, it would be everything that Tasha has said today, because I mean, I just feel, it's everything that I tried to share with you, and that is get out, travel, explore. She said, I hope you took notes, like I did. She said so many amazing things, but the main thing she kept saying over and over again was take the leap, take the leap. Look, take the leap. And if you don't like it, you can always go home or you can go somewhere else. Do your research, do your planning, and then go and travel because the whole world is waiting for you. Well, I'm going to go because I'm just too excited, and Tasha has said it all. So if you missed anything, come back and watch the replay, and take notes. Be sure to share this with a friend because people need to hear this. We need to hear this. Find as many Black people as you can, and share this broadcast with them. And also share her groups. I have left all of the links to her groups and her podcast, so be sure to support her. And because we love to support people who are doing phenomenal things, be sure to support her. And when you go, let her know that Synolve sent you. I'm just let her. All right. Well, there's so many ways also while we're in this supporting spirit that you can also support me so I can keep telling these amazing stories and beautiful people. My book is on Amazon. I left the link below. Love the New Currency. Also, Milton and I have a nonprofit organization which we share. We're always sharing whether it's food or whether it's we're working on establishing a food forest in this area, and we have plans to do that in another country as well. So you can always share, and share a donation as well. You can support this broadcast as well by just supporting me by joining Patreon or by because we have to support black um, black media. We have to.
Mhm.
The only way that our stories get told is if we tell them. And so you can also support me as well. Now I need to change this, but change this email address. Let me change this email address because many of you all know if you let's see here, I want to save it. But many of you know that I'm working on a book. I'm calling it Black Exodus, where I'm documenting, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk to Tasha about being in this book, where I'm documenting the stories of this Black Exodus. We are as Black people moving and migrating, expatting and repatting around the world out of from the West. There's a whole movement that's going on,
Mhm.
and I want to be a part because if we don't document this story, who will? And so I want to be a part of that. And if you'd like to be a part of that, you want to be um, uh, a member of Patreon to help support that journey, or you want to support me in any way that you'd like to, because y'all know I'm leaving. I got a time clock ticking where I'm trying to get up out of the West. Then there's the information to do just that. The most important thing out of all of the things that you can do to support me is just doing what you do, which is to watch the broadcast and to
Mhm.
give the thumbs up and the like. I have a small group that we just started. I really haven't promoted it a lot, but it's Black Exodus on Facebook. And if you'd like to join that, I'd be happy to see you there and to see your smiling faces and to hear your beautiful stories. Well, we've been blessed today. We have gotten the knowledge that we need, the inspiration that we need, the food that we need for our spirits to be able to live the life of our dreams, as Tasha has said, and to travel the world. And so I hope you'll take that and begin to make plans to do just that. I'm grateful to my guest, Tasha, for Pierre, for joining me today and for being so generous with her time and with her knowledge. She didn't have to do it, but she did. And I am so grateful. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. You know that. Y'all already know. I love you guys so much. You are amazing. Those are saying thanks. Yes. Thank you, Tasha. And thank you to you for showing up and for being here today. You guys know I love you so much. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are supported and you are loved. And you're welcome here anytime. I love you guys so much because have an amazing day. And I'm Synolve signing off, and I'm going to see you in another video. Go soon. Bye bye, guys. Share, 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 share broadcast.